Hello, grade six. Welcome back to another episode of a grammar lesson brought to you by Miss Gibson. Today, this is probably going to be a two-parter because it's quite in depth, and we're looking at quotation marks. So these little ones. Uh, there's a lot of uses for these, so I don't want to just go straight to what you probably already know, the dialogue. So our speech marks in our writing. There are lots of other things that we use our quotation marks for. So I'm going to go through these with you, and then you're going to have two activities at the end. So hopefully, like, you'll probably have to watch this one first, and then you can watch the second one, and I'll explain the activities in the second one. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is pause the video, write quotation marks at the top of your book, and I want you to write the date as well. And then I want you to write all the things you know about quotation marks. All right, so stop the video and do that for me now. Okay, then you can unpause it. It should take you about 2 minutes. I'm not going to wait for 2 minutes in silence, watching you weirdly. You just have to stop and then come back, okay? All right. So you should have done that done that now, and now we're going to go launch into what we use our quotation marks for. So quotation marks are a form of punctuation. So you use these often. Most of you probably know what they are already, and they serve a purpose of transferring information to our readers. Okay, we can use them for lots of different things. So there's 5 main areas that we're going to look at today. So one of those is that we can convey that words we've written have come from a specific source word for word. Okay, I'm going to go over these a little bit more. The second point is they can be used to indicate the title of a work. The third is they can even be used to imply an alternate meaning. You can also use them as dialogue in our writing or speech, most of you will do, and enclose the meaning of a word. Okay, some of these, when I give you when I talk about them, giving you an example is much easier form of explaining them. So I've got examples along the way. So I'm going to dive into each of these in more detail, and then you're going to do an activity at the end that'll fit with every one of these. So written down word for word. Okay, so when you're writing your own piece, but you've heard or read something somewhere else and you would like to use it, we call that a quote. Okay, so if you don't use quotation marks, then it's actually copying, because it's not that your own words, it's sort of plagiarism. So, for example, if I wrote a letter to Mr. Andrews and I heard him saying on a press conference that, like, saying something like, please wear your mask because it's only going to save your life. If he's directly said that and I want to write that in the letter to him about for some reason, I actually need to make sure that they are in quotation marks. Okay, so that's because it's expressing that they're not my words, they are his words, they are someone else's words. And then you need to actually write that he has said that. So it would be something similar, something like Mr. Andrews said in his press conference that, quotation mark, wearing a mask will save lives, end of quotation mark. Okay, that's written down word for word because it's exactly what he said. So I've written it down and I've added those quotation marks. Implying an alternate meaning, the writer may use this in a story, or it might not be, the usual sense or the meaning of the word. Okay, so for example, the learner driver kangaroo hopped down the road. This doesn't mean that the kangaroo magically the car didn't turn into a kangaroo and started hopping. It's implying that the driver wasn't driving very well and it was like watching a kangaroo hopping. So if you've ever seen a learner driver trying to learn how to drive a manual car, because they have to work out the clutch, sometimes it looks like they're like this, like they're hopping. That's what a learner driver kangaroo hopped down the road. So it's not saying that it's an actual kangaroo hopping. It's saying that it looked like a kangaroo hopping. Okay, so the writer may use this in a story, or it might not be the usual meaning of the word. That is imply an alternate meaning. The one that you're all mostly familiar with is dialogue, speech in our writing. And it's one of the most common used quotation marks. Also where people can get a bit unstuck as well. So we use this in our writing when someone is talking, and it shows the exact words that are being spoken. For example, see you all at 12:45 for our afternoon WebEx, Miss Gibson said. Okay. See where the quotation marks are. So you've got a quotation mark at see you all at